Good afternoon, everyone. It is 12:30 in California. We're coming near the end of the day. Today was our momentum rally in carryover mode, and this is the July 9th end of day wrap up to know what's going on. So, what happened to our momentum rally? Take a look. What happened here? We got a complete sideways range. This is a 10-minute SPY chart. Completely sideways, no real momentum. Well, remember, these patterns are predicted to be possible, probable outcomes. And because we have no rally, it's more like a flat down day carrying into this Tuesday on the 9th. The momentum rally may end up showing up on the 10th or the 11th, meaning that I believe the momentum that we should have seen here on the 9th, because we didn't see it today, may build and carry up overnight. So let me give you an example of what that might look like as we move forward. So this 10-minute chart, I'm going to shrink it down real quick and kind of highlight where we're at in this picture. So now we have, it looks like, come down and filled this gap. Let's check. Oh yeah, we filled the gap from the early morning. You can see here, this was our gap from the early morning opening. Moving a little slow. So there was our gap. We've completely filled it. Very likely now that the gap has been filled that we're going to probably see some sort of nice solid upward movement here. The washout range from the flag was still in place. You can see how we've washed out, come back down, filled the gap. Now we're going to see what happens in the last 30 minutes of trading here. We could wash out a little further, but remember, this was supposed to be a momentum rally. So in reality, folks, we should have probably seen something more along the lines of this moving higher, at least up into the 557, 558 area, kind of like this, if the momentum rally was going to continue to take place. So now assume that we have this kind of a rally that should have taken place if the momentum rally pattern actually generated something. So now we have to take a look at the following day to determine where we could be seeing a big upward move. So next day's pattern suggests a move. And again, I drew these. I'm not going to change these now, up into this area. Okay. And I mentioned to you that we could have some sort of a breakaway pattern here. So understand that there's a pretty good chance, in my opinion, that we are going to see some sort of a gapping move tomorrow up in this area. That would make sense to me. And that we could see a fairly strong upward trend taking place up into this area. That all makes sense to me. And I believe that that would be a strong carryover momentum for this momentum rally that never took shape today. Okay. And that would mean that we could have potentially a potential gap from our close here, maybe up, let's see here. Yeah, maybe up 0.5%. Maybe. So maybe up in this area around 558. Let's call it a little over 558 tomorrow. So really kind of more so gapping in this area. I'm going to highlight this. Gapping into this area here. I think that's a very solid outcome. And I think we could see a very solid gap up into the 558 plus area, followed by a fairly strong move. Now, again, remember I highlighted this. So you've got to read these kind of as patterns that take shape like a sentence. So remember, if I were to extend what I believe to be the capable trending, which I tried to draw back here, of the momentum move, even on a moderate basis, I thought this would pretty much be the outcome. You can see I really thought up here. But if this momentum pattern, this momentum rally pattern builds and carries into this gap up higher pattern, which is trending, we could have a very explosive day tomorrow. We could see, from where we're likely to close down here, we could see a move maybe up 1.5, 1.75% tomorrow. And that could be a very strong upward trend. Now, remember, I'll go back here to 30-minute or daily. And remember, we are still looking for these patterns to play out. So even though we didn't get the momentum rally today, even though it's very flat and sideways, we are still looking for these patterns to play out. Here's our momentum rally bar. I'll have to clear this out a little bit. Here was our flat down bar. The momentum rally bar never really materialized. So again, we read this as a sentence or paragraph. So we went from rally, rally, rally mode, momentum rally on Friday. Now we had a flat down on Monday, momentum rally that never really materialized today, gap up higher pattern for tomorrow, and then a breaking up or down move, counter trend. Okay, we'll see how that plays out. Then we move into a carryover trade on Friday. Then the exhaustion rally here, exhaustion carryover, possible breakdown, and major crush pattern. Again, in counter trend here, and exhaustion carryover in counter trend here. So that does kind of modify this exhaustion counter trend move. In counter trend could be kind of an upward bar, here, instead of a real breakdown. Could be a big breakdown here, moving into some downward movement. So what I'm telling you is that the momentum behind the scenes, the psychological momentum of these patterns is still building. And I think we could end up with a very explosive move to the upside. So just because we didn't get the momentum rally today doesn't mean that it's ignored or gone or never showed up. In theory, these are like psychological price events. And I believe that the momentum rally, gap up higher, and breaking pattern may carry into very strong explosive moves, possibly on data, possibly on earnings, and we'll see how it plays out. Remember, if I go back here to, say, 30-minute and spread this out, you guys can see it. This is where we're at. This is where I think we're going to go. And I would urge you to, again, I'm going to leave some of these drawings for now, but follow these kind of blue lines right here. I think this is what the market is going to revert to over the next couple of days, up into this area, maybe widening a bit up here. So make sure I've got the right thing. So maybe widening into channeling here before we get the breakdown, and widening into channeling here before we get some sort of a breakdown. And I think this is kind of where we're looking, folks. This is what I believe price wants to try to do. This is what I believe will become the, let's call it the natural bias of the market. And I think today and yesterday were just the pause before the explosion. So let's see what happens. Trying to give you guys the best information. Remember, these patterns are not 100% accurate. So yeah, I've gone 2.5 weeks or so accurately predicting what's going on here. And today was our first pattern that really didn't do what we expected. Let's see if I'm right. Let's see if tomorrow we get that big explosive move, or Thursday we get that big explosive move to the upside. And let's see if we get up into this area. The real test here would be to see if we can get up here. If we can get up into this 563 area, 560, call it 563. Let's just make it a nice even number. If we can get up into that area by Monday or Tuesday of next week, then this entire thing was called beautifully as a long-term, 5, 6, 7 day expectation. So we'll see how it plays out. Okay, guys. Thanks for following. Share with your friends. Remember to check out my website and my other videos to learn what I can do for you. And we still got lots of opportunity. We still got the whole rest of this week and maybe early next week to see a big push higher. Okay, guys, talk to you later.